Am I the asshole for refusing to do a portrait for my boyfriend, leaving him without a wedding gift? I do digital portraits, mostly as a hobby, but I've gotten a few commissions here and there. A while ago, my boyfriend and I were hanging out with mutual friends, and my boyfriend suggested in front of everyone that I do a portrait as a gift for someone's upcoming birthday. While it was a little annoying to be volunteered by him, I did think it was a good idea and went ahead and did it. The next time a birthday in the group came up, my boyfriend made the same suggestion. And as a result, quote, the birthday portrait has kind of become my thing. My boyfriend will get something small as his gift since he views the portrait as being from us. The part where I may be the asshole is that I haven't told him explicitly to stop volunteering me for these portraits. It is my fault for going along with the birthday thing for our friends without saying anything, but I kind of assumed that he would at least keep these requests within the realm of common sense. Well, his college buddy is getting married, and my boyfriend told him that I would make him a portrait of him and his bride as a wedding gift. I have never even met this person. To make matters worse, he apparently made this promise weeks ago, but only told me about it today, and the wedding is this Saturday. 4-day notice. I finally lost it at him and told him that I'm not his personal portrait sweatshop, and that he only does this because he's a cheapskate, and it gets him out of spending any money on a gift, even though it costs me a lot of time. He argued back that a bespoke portrait is so much better than just buying something off of the registry, that it's a generous thing for me to do. It helps build my portfolio, and that I don't get very many paid commissions anyways. For the record, I don't get many paid commissions because I don't charge peanuts for them. I have a full-time job, so I price according to what it would be worth giving up that amount of free time that it takes me. He told me that I put him in a really difficult position, that he hyped up the portrait, and they were both really looking forward to it. He said, please just do this one and I won't ask again. I said no, I don't even know these people, so this is not my problem. He looked up a couple of portrait artists online, but none of them were willing to do the piece on a short turnaround he needed at the quality he wanted and at a price he was willing to pay. He even tried using an AI image generator, which was a complete slap in the face to me as an artist.
God.
But all of the outputs were very obviously AI. He's begging me to just please do this one, and he will make it up to me on my birthday. But especially after he apparently thought my work was so worthless that it could be effortlessly reproduced by a machine, I'm just really not in the mood.
Wow, it escalated.
He
started digging that hole.
He could have just been like, babe, I'll pay you.
I was about to say,
I'll pay you.
Be like, I'll pay you for your work since this is super inconvenient.
You're right.
You can't. It's hard for you.
Yeah, you're right. This is the last time I'll ask. Let me just pay you, please. I get it. I get it.
I feel like it started where like I didn't think either was the asshole. I was like, he's proud of her. He likes her stuff. He also low key likes not having to buy anything.
Yeah.
And then she was doing it. It kind of worked out. But at one point, I think she should have communicated to him like, can you just not promise people things without talking to me first?
Yeah.
Because I've definitely been in that situation with family where people be like, oh, I promised like 10 people tickets to something.
Oh no.
And I'm like, okay, you have to ask me first. And then I'm an asshole because I can't get it. And they're like, you're putting me in a bad position. I'm like, I never agreed to even be in this position. So I get how she feels.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But she should have had a little more boundaries with it. But it's weird with your significant other because it's fun to be like, yeah, we're getting this and he likes what I'm doing. But this whole last thing, the AI shit is wild.
You literally thought you were going to create it yourself using AI versus just get down on your hands and knees and beg?
I go, here's a pencil, figure it out.
Story time about how I got in trouble for flirting with my 20-year-old neighbor. So a little background information, I was 15 and in 9th grade. And the one day I was walking my dogs with my friend whenever I saw one of my neighbors outside. And of course, because I told her that I thought he was cute, she started making a huge scene, yelling at the top of her lungs, telling me to go up to him. So I end up going up to him, and fast forward a week or two, we were talking and hanging out. And I never thought to ask his age, but he knew how old I was. And my mom and dad got to know him since he came around pretty often. Like, he would come over for movie night, and on one couch, it would be me, him, and my sisters, under a huge blanket, and then on the other couch would be my parents. Well, the one night we were watching a movie, and there were some things going on under the blanket. Fast forward, he comes over to my house the next day, and my parents were taking a nap, and both of my sisters were at school, and him and I were in the living room flirting with each other, and I didn't know that my dad was in the hallway listening. And we were talking about me going over to his house, and then my dad steps out of the hallway, and he's like, where are you going without telling anybody? Like for part 2. Part 2 about how I got caught flirting with my 20-year-old neighbor. So like I said, he was over my house, and then we were talking about how we should go to his, and then my dad was listening in the hallway secretly. And then he comes out and he's like, so where are you guys going without telling anybody? And my neighbor had walked out the front door, and I was like, oh, I'm not going anywhere, I'm just locking the door behind him. And then my dad goes out after him. And then after hearing them talk outside, my dad came in and slammed the front door closed. And then my dad storms into my room and he's like, you know, I heard you flirting with him, right? Of course, my stupid ass making it worse. I tried to convince him that we knew he was there the whole time and we were just doing a prank on him. It didn't work. And I ended up getting grounded for 2 months and having to get a summer job to pay for bills and any trips that I had planned for the summer. Story time about how my friends made everyone hate me. So a little background information, I was 15 and in 9th grade. And we're going to call my best friend Charlene. Her and I were best friends from 6th grade all the way up till freshman year. Well, when we got into high school, she caught feelings for this sophomore who we're going to call Ben. And when I say she caught feelings for this boy, she was like in love with him. Personally, I didn't like anybody. I just got out of a toxic relationship. So boys were like the last thing on my mind. Well, instead of Ben trying to pursue things with her, he would always try to flirt with me instead. And I would never go along with it because duh, girl code. Well, instead of talking to Ben about this, she would run to all of her other friends and call me a slut. For me, quote, letting him flirt with me. Like, girl, I can't control him. The most I can tell him to do is stop. Anyway, so the one day we were waiting for the bus to go home, and all of a sudden Ben comes up behind me and gives me a hug and a kiss. On the cheek, of course, but still. So I push him off of me because, ew. Well, Charlene laughs it off like everything's fine, like for part 2 about how my friends made everyone hate me. So like I said, Ben comes up behind me, give me a hug and a kiss, and I say, ew, push him off of me, and then Charlene laughs it off like everything's fine. But then the next day at school, people are telling me about how she was telling everybody that I would force him to kiss me and hang out with me. And of course, everybody believed her, and no one believed me. Which I'm not gonna lie, I feel like in high school, whenever there's a rumor starting, unless you tell your side of the story first, no one's gonna believe you. Well, thankfully, he ended up explaining the whole situation to everybody. So once those rumors were laid to rest, she started new rumors that she was gonna fight me after school. And I was tired of putting up with the shit, so I ended up beating her ass, and now I'm a senior in high school. And thankfully have found amazing supportive friends. As for Charlene, I haven't heard anything about her since, and I would like to keep it that way. Because why would you let a boy get in the middle of our friendship?
Am I the asshole for wanting to fly separately because my fiance booked us in economy? My fiance and I are planning to travel to Texas this summer for his cousin's wedding. It's a big family affair with his parents and 2 siblings also flying out with us. I'm truly grateful and excited for the trip. However, I recently discovered that my fiance booked us all in economy class. I understand the reasoning, but I have my concerns about flying economy, especially since it's a very long flight, almost 22 hours, and the wedding festivities start almost immediately upon our arrival. I'm meeting his family for the first time and want to make a good impression, not appear tired or jet-lagged. I've never flown economy, and my fiancé knows this. To complicate matters, despite my repeated insistence, my fiancé is covering all other expenses for the trip as well. I'm in a bind because I don't want to seem ungrateful or rude by upgrading just my seat. Offering to upgrade his seat as well wouldn't work, he wouldn't appreciate it, and I don't want to hurt his pride.
Am I the asshole for telling her that I would sleep with her if she wanted to?
This gives me nice guy vibes.
So I've been friends with this girl who recently went through a breakup. We used to be very close, but less so recently since we haven't seen each other in a minute. She's a very beautiful girl. People just assume she's a model even though she works as a dental nurse. I met her at a house party recently and we were just catching up, having a chat. It had been a while since we'd caught up. She tells me how disappointed that she is that all her guy friends hit on her afterwards. When she was in on that relationship, she thought she had genuine platonic guy friends, and that once she was single, they all swarmed at her out of the woodworks and started shooting their shots.
So he does the same exact thing.
I said, yeah, that's bound to happen. You're very pretty and you have chemistry with almost everyone. That's the only requirement for sex. Hell, the fact that you're beautiful is enough for 90% of men. Forget any chemistry.
Stop talking, shut the f up.
I mean, you proved my point. The second you became single, all your guy friends wanted you. Not one of them said, well, actually, I wouldn't want to spoil this amazing friendship. Let me just never try my luck with this beautiful woman. She was feeling a bit sad, and I said, hey, don't worry about it. At least you can be certain of the fact that your female friends aren't going to hit on you. She giggled at that and then asked me point blank if I would have sex with her. She's a very shy, passive person, so this caught me very off guard. I said, yeah, I mean, I think you're beautiful. I'm not going to say no to sex. Would I actively pursue you? Probably not, but if you want to have sex, I'd most likely be on board.
How do you say so many wrong things?
She asked me if I care at all about our friendship, and I just said, wanting to have sex with you doesn't mean I don't care about being friends. It just means that we're both adults and we made a decision together because we're horny. That's it. It's not deep. She said, no, you know for a fact that having sex would ruin our friendship. You just don't care about it because you'd rather think with your dick instead of your brain. She started going off on me. Maybe I should have been less honest. Am I the asshole?
Yes. You're definitely a dumbass.
Even if this was a genuine ask from her where she was like, hey, do you want to sleep with me? His response was insane to be like, I wouldn't actively pursue you, but
Actually fucking crazy. He was like, well, she doesn't want to date any of her friends. She's mad that they all want to date her. I think I have the perfect fucking answer. Bam. And then whips that out. It's just, what a terrible answer.
My sister slept with my boyfriend and I sent her a really cruel message that I don't regret at all.
not the asshole.
Friday. Saved up for Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So a few days ago, I, 25 female, found out that my sister, 24 female, has been sleeping with my boyfriend. They put now ex, 25 male, and they dated for 3 years, for 1 year, or probably more. They always had a close relationship, but I obviously took it as something innocent. I don't like video games, but my sister does, so they talked a lot by text, and I thought it was about games they like until I found out that no, they talked a lot about their secret dates while I was working and in college. I found pictures, videos, and a lot of other discussing things in the chats between my ex and my sister. My pathetic sister found pleasure in asking my pathetic ex all the time if she's smarter or prettier than me. She even compared our private parts.
That's disgusting.
We're both pretty. She's actually thinner and prettier than me, and even if she's an introvert, she has her group of friends, so I really don't understand where she got so much venom towards me. Our parents never compared us or anything like that, and she was always the one asking my ex to compare both of us in the chat. The first thing I did was throw all my ex-boyfriend's things out of the apartment. I insulted him in 1,000 ways, and I kept the PC that I gave him for Christmas. I didn't speak a single word to my sister for over a week, and she didn't contact me like the coward she is until yesterday when she sent me a message trying to justify herself by saying that it was a mistake.
Okay, a year-long mistake, multiple time mistake. All right, buddy.
And that I should forgive her because we're sisters and blah, blah, blah. At one point, I thought, should I be the mature person in the situation who doesn't let resentment speak for her? But then I realized that I've never been that kind of person. So I took my phone and wrote a long message to my sister that I would love to write here, but I am sure that I would break the rules since I called her out in every possible way, and I wrote a lot of personal things too. I told her how much of a failure she is and how she has always envied me, and that's why she needed to feel what it's like to be me for a second of her sad life.
God damn.
She sent me a voice message saying that she's in a very weak moment mentally. And she put on brackets, but she's still with him, laughing my ass off.
Really? Oh my
And I shouldn't make her feel worse and that she regrets it. I just reacted to her message with this emoji, which is a laughing emoji with the crying face, and didn't even hear the long voice message until the end. Was it a low thing to attack her with all her flaws? Yes, but it's lower to betray your sister and believe that she's going to forgive you just because you share blood with her. She's dead to me and my parents know it.
Would I be the asshole if I tell my sister that our other sister had an affair with her husband?
Save your sister from a shitty marriage and shitty relationship.
I, 29 female, have two sisters, Jess, 32 female, and Lena, 34 female. Jess and Lena used to live in the same small town about 12 hours away from me, my brother, and our parents. Then Jess moved here for a better job opportunity and for more help with my niece, Amy, 12. Jess hasn't even been in town for 3 months yet, and the last week she went and dropped a terrible fucking bombshell on us. Jess spent a year fucking Lena's husband Jeff, and they even had a miscarriage together in that time. Lena has absolutely no idea. Jess brought all of us involuntarily into her shit show by just breaking down and dumping this all on us in tears after sending Amy off to play. Apparently she was too guilty to live with herself without getting it off her chest somehow. The family is going nuts trying to decide what to do now. We urged Jess to come clean herself, but she flatly refused, saying that Lena is her best friend and she loves her too much to lose her friendship.
Do you?
And also that she feels it will break Lena's heart and destroy her family.
So why did you her husband?
Yeah.
This is my best friend.
Lena and Jeff have 4 kids together, my niece and nephews ranging from age 18 to 10. A big part of me feels like Lena deserves to know no matter what, but 2 things are really giving me pause. 1, the kids, and 2, Lena's feelings. The kids love their dad, love their house, love their land. They'd be ripped away from all of those things in a divorce, would they not? And I worry a lot about how Lena would cope. Lena has been such a devoted wife to Jeff, and she does consider Jess to be her best friend. It feels cruel to shatter her her like this. Jess is pretty much dead to me over this. So is Jeff. I don't really know what to do and I'm very torn. I just want to know what's best for Lena and the kids. Should I speak up since Jess won't? Would I be the asshole?
Here's what you do. I got it. It's planned out. You have a conversation with Jess. And while you're having that conversation with Jess, you accidentally call Lena. You're talking to Jess about it, being like, you gotta tell Lena. And then she'll be like, I can't. She's my best friend. And Jeff, it was just a mistake with Jeff.
It was just a 1-year mistake.
A mistake for 365 days.